Alaska 74, the mainstay assault rifle of both sides in the Russia-Ukraine war. It's one of the most ubiquitous infantry weapons in history. How's it faring in the Russia-Ukraine war a half-century after its introduction? The Russian military operation into Ukraine has seen Russian weaponry dating back to the Cold War era hurling its wrath against a dazzling variety of sophisticated weapons, donated to Ukraine from an equally wide variety of North Atlantic Treaty Organization powers. Underlaying the heavyweight weapons that seem to represent Ukrainian quality against Russian quantity are a number of weapons common to both sides. Among the most ubiquitous of these is the lightweight descendant of one of the most iconic and still ubiquitous infantry weapons in history, the AK-74 assault rifle. World War II roots. During World War II, the infantryman's friend was the rifle, whether bolt action like the short magazine, Lee Enfield, Mosin Nagant M1891, and Mauser Model 1898, or semi-automatic like the innovative M1 Garand or the M1 carbine. About midway through the conflict, the Germans began producing a radical weapon designed by Hugo Schmeisser, the Sturmgewehr 44. Introducing an intermediate bullet between the standard rifle round and the short rounds used by machine pistols, such as Germany's MP-43 or the Soviet PPS-H-41, the STG-44 combined deadly accuracy at hundreds of meters with flexibility of fire, adjustable from single shot to fully automatic. Entering combat too late to change the course of the war, the STG-44, like many other Nazi German developments, had a profound effect on any Allied soldiers who encountered it and inspired a worldwide effort to produce a new generation of infantry weapon during the Cold War. AK-47 vs. M16. Arguably the most successful of the STG-44's descendants was designed by Mikhail Kalashnikov in 1947. Firing a 7.62 x 39 mm round, its principal advance was more like a step backward. Paralleling the rise of the M16 was that of its ammunition. Lighter and smaller than the 7.62 mm, the 5.56 mm allowed more rounds to be carried and still create the damage and mayhem required of its battlefield mission. Rise of the AK-74. This trend extended to Mikhail Kalashnikov, who in 1974 devised an AK-47 to fire a 5.45 x 39 mm cartridge. In 1979, the Avtomat Kalashnikova Obraztsa 1974 Goda was adopted by the Soviet Army and, as with the M16 in Vietnam, the AK-74 made its combat debut in Afghanistan. Later, the Pakistani Bureau of Intelligence Services, or ISI, claimed that the Central Intelligence Agency paid the Afghan Mujahideen $5,000 for the first AK-74 they captured. AK-74 stats. As with the M16, later AK-74 variants, the Russian-built Alaska 74M and AK-12 have Picatinny rails, which allow the use of thermal imaging sights and other aids. Ukrainian hoped to transition to Western rifle designs, but that's been delayed by the difference in bore between the AK-74's 5.45 mm round, which Ukraine has in abundance, and the relatively few NATO standard 5.56 mm rounds. With a maximum range of 3,150 meters and reliability equal to or better than that of the AK-47, the AK-74 will probably remain the principal long arm for both warring sides in the Russia-Ukraine war, as long as the conflict continues. Thanks for watching.